Welcome to the Growlers and Gremlins podcast, an alcoholic adventure in cryptids, paranormal, and the occult. Coming to you weekly from the heartland of America. Welcome to Growlers and Gremlins. I'm Jason, your host and analyst. Joining me this week is John.
Brian.
Jesse.
Oh,
Cool.
man. After you said that, I was like, it would have been fun because, like, of what we talked about last episode, we were talking about, like, the Trinity. And I thought it when I paused after John, I was almost thinking, like, I should be like, John, the father. And then Brian would have been like, Brian, the son. And Jesse would have been like, Jesse, the Holy Spirit.
I feel like now...
I don't know why that came in my head.
Do we have to start over again, then?
Said my name. No, it's just stupid.
We've already started over, what, 3-4 times?
Stupid, cringy joke that popped in my head.
Man, that popped.
Oh yeah, the beer today is from Sun King Brewing, the Orange Vanilla Sunlight Cream Ale.
Where's Sun King from?
Brewed and canned in Indianapolis, Indiana.
That's right.
Yeah.
Indianapolis's laziest brewery.
But most profitable.
It's like a...
Yes.
Definitely orange cream soda.
I like this beer a lot.
The main purchasers of Sun King are what kind of people, John?
Bars.
Okay.
Well, primarily it's bars. Secondary, it's people who are just getting into microbrew beer.
I mean, yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah.
So.
They're like the good intro to microbrews because it's like it's not all that far off from like regular stuff you can get in a store.
Well, like I love WeMac. WeMac is just like what I go
It's
to as a
good.
drinking beer.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I don't care who it's from. It's good.
Yeah, this is good beer.
Okay.
Like I said, it's like Bud Light Orange, but like not quite as good.
Not quite as orangey. It's
It's more creamy.
Well, yeah, because there's the Bud Light doesn't have the vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get some Bud Light Orange and some pizza thrown together, and then you just become a power machine.
Do you?
Yes.
John does. Me, not so much.
Pizza's like a super fuel. Seriously.
Well, actually, pizza covers all the food groups.
It does.
You got your vegetable.
Mhm.
If you put pineapple, you got your fruit. You got dairy and meat and grains. So
Mhm.
Where's the dairy? Jeez. Shut up.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, you threw me off with the fruit, but, you know, we'll roll with it.
Well, I mean,
Tomatoes.
If you, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, technically.
okay.
Do we have to do this with you again, Jesse?
No.
And we have to...
No.
Remember that one episode where you were like, wait, so is broccoli a fruit?
Right. It's the seeds, man.
It's not even seeds. It's like little leaves or something.
Okay. Hey.
Can I cross-pollinate broccoli with a pine tree?
What?
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
I get where you're going.
Yeah.
An evergreen broccoli.
You would just like, yeah, it'd just be like a big old broccoli.
That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
That could be.
What do you got for us, Jason?
Well,
You know. Sorry, I'm gonna say if playing with the different seeds and all that. What's that? What's that called?
What do you mean, like?
When you cross pollinate stuff, like eugenics. Is that what it was? Jason, it's eugenics,
No.
right?
No.
No, it's what do they call that when they make hybrid plants?
Cross pollination. I mean,
Well, I thought there was a word
a
for it.
geneticist.
Mm,
I'm going with eugenics. Jason, what's the topic this week? Is it eugenics?
I don't know, but it's about time you cross-pollinated something.
I cross-pollinate my socks all the time.
Oh,
God damn it.
Yeah.
Now I don't like that I made that joke.
Yeah, that's your own fault.
I like how we're like we couldn't publish 2 episodes because we got too far off rails and too disgusting. And you're like, yeah, my socks don't bend anymore.
What are you talking about? No, I was laying seed in my yard. You know, with the little seed spreader? I
I was
cross-pollinated my
actually doing that right before you got here.
Yeah.
I was when
like-
Jesse got here, I was spreading grass seed in the yard.
My dumbass cats like rolled a patch of grass to dirt because they just roll around on this one
Just
block.
spending the weekend spreading our seed. There's nothing wrong with that, Jason.
And I got my socks a little dirty and they got stuff. Dirty. They're all dirty.
Jason.
It's a callback to an episode that never got published. So anyway,
No, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah. He talked about that.
He talked about his socks in a published episode.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even know what that was a joke in the past. I didn't remember it.
We got to get the OnlyFans going, though, for those unpublished episodes.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the topic for this episode. I guess trying to stay with the Indiana theme we had from the last episode, and kind of going back to our second episode where we did cryptids from Indiana. We're going to do yet another cryptid from Indiana. This one is a giant alligator snapping turtle. It's got multiple names. It's called the Beast of Busco. Locals call it Oscar.
Uh-huh.
Or another name that, for whatever reason, Oscar the Phantom Churubusco Turtle.
Well, how big is it?
I
It's
will
an alligator
get to
snapping
that.
turtle.
Yeah, because like alligator snapping turtles are,
They get pretty big.
yeah, they get pretty big, and we have them around here.
right, but I should have took better notes. I know I saw
How many toes has it taken?
in here somewhere.
You know, I actually had a snapping turtle bite my bike tire once. I was on a country road outside of town, and this was when I was probably 14 or so. And I was riding on my bike, and I stopped because there was this huge turtle in the middle of the road, and I stopped to look at it, and it bit my tire.
Did it pop it?
No, but it was a big snapping turtle.
Did you kick it?
No, I just wiggled my handlebars till it came off the tire, and I rode off.
Kick it into the road?
It was in the road.
No.
It was like right in the middle of the road, that's why I stopped to look.
No, I don't see in my notes where I actually wrote down a size, so it must not have been reported in any of the sightings.
It was actually that same bike ride that I actually stopped and knocked on a random door to use a bathroom. I had to poop.
And I wonder how my episodes end up going unpublished because no one wants to help with the topic. They want to go somewhere
Well, I
else.
was waiting for you to get it together.
Yeah, we were trying to kill time while you were looking through your notes there. Apparently,
yeah.
shit.
Well, I already said I didn't write down the size of it. It must not have been in any of the sightings.
Well, John was just finishing out the state.
Isn't that the most relevant thing, though?
How big the
How
snapping
big
turtle
is this thing? Like, why are they calling it a beast? Why is it a cryptid instead of just an alligator snapping turtle?
Well, maybe we'll get there. Anyway, so it's an alleged giant alligator snapping turtle reported from Folk Lake near Churubusco, in the near Churubusco, northern Indiana, in the United States. I wrote that out.
What
really
part
weird.
of northern Indiana is Churubusco? Is that northwest, northeast, or like central? I've never heard of that town. That's why I ask.
I haven't even heard of the lake either. Folk Lake.
It's got to be like northeast.
Yeah. But it was first reported in the late 1990s. The story gained national attention as a result of increasingly dramatic attempts by the lake's owners, Gail Harris, and other locals to capture the animal. Supposedly another turtle was reported in the state in the 1950s as well. But
You sure it wasn't just an alligator?
Probably just an alligator snapping turtle, but
Mhm.
I
6
just
feet
wonder how
across.
big, because like
Yeah.
they live a long time.
So Oscar is usually thought to have been named after Oscar Falk, the first alleged witness of the turtle. However, Merrill Leach claimed that the name was bestowed in honor of a local realtor, Oscar Issei, an allegation denied by Issei's brother. Others insist that Oscar was always a generic name given to turtles in the area. So apparently, if you own a turtle, you name it Oscar if you live in the area. Gail Harris, who owned the lake in which Oscar was seen, said that his son Vaughn had chosen the name. So apparently, there's no real meaning to Oscar.
Oscar the Grouch turtle.
So there supposedly is actual footage of the turtle during a march in 1994. There's only one march. Why did I write? God, I need to sleep more while I write my notes. A man named Daryl Windiger filmed the Beast of Busco from a tree.
What's his name?
I guess Windiger? Weingartner? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Filmed the Beast of Busco from a tree. 2 locals who saw the film, Merrill Leach and Daly Fogel, said that the turtle was clearly visible in the film just beneath the water level, and that it was as large as other eyewitnesses had claimed. Weingartner sold the film, and its current whereabouts are unknown. Years later, Leach recalled, "I have a friend climb up the tree and took a movie of it, and I've often said that his head looked as big as a gallon crock, and his back looked as big as the top of an old automobile." So
that's
we don't have exact.
His head looked as big as what?
A giant crock.
Oh, okay.
So probably like
Yeah.
The Churubusco farmland containing Falk Lake, from which the Beast of Busco was reported, was originally owned by Oscar Falk. When the Beast of Busco made news in 1948, people who knew Falk said that he had been telling stories of a big turtle 50 years before. In around 1898, after Falk sold the land, the new owners are said to have reported seeing the turtle in 1914. A local named Pat Crooks was also told about the huge turtle in Falk Lake years before the 1949 hunt. Giant turtles in the area may also figure into local mythology. Gail Harris purchased the land in November of 1947, moved in with his wife Helen and son Vaughn, and one of the first things he learned was that a giant turtle allegedly lived in the lake. So what interests me about this particularly is it sounds very much like one of the Loch Ness knockoff cryptids. So like,
yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, so you have Nessie and Loch Ness, then you have Champ in Lake Champlain.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
So it almost sounds
Champ's like a big serpent, isn't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's to me it just sounds like another Loch Ness knockoff. But in this case, it's just a turtle. Which
quite literally,
it's a big old turtle.
Well, because like I know there are like Native American stories where they talk about giant turtles and them being part of their creation myth or creation stories. So I think that might have been why turtles in particular had been a part of the public consciousness in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So. But I mean, there's several sightings of this from 1948 up to 1950s. But the current status of it is some believe it could theoretically still be alive, as alligator snapping turtles can have extremely long lifespans,
up to 200 years.
Yeah.
God
so
damn.
Even though it hasn't been reported, I mean,
holy Jesus.
Yeah, and that's one that we know exists.
That was in the Shed Aquarium in Chicago.
Yeah.
They had an alligator snapping turtle that was only 16 years old, and he was 239 pounds.
Yeah.
Massive.
That's why I think this one, unlike like Champ or Nessie, this may actually have some grain of truth.
I think 100% this is real.
Yeah. And it could also be an interesting road trip as well.
Yeah. Try and find it.
Try and find the turtle.
It's still never been found.
Yeah. So we just hitch up your dad's boat and we drag Brian behind the boat as bait. And
yeah, it could. What do you? If it's as big as so, what I read is that the Beast of Busco was estimated by them looking at it to be about a 500-pound alligator snapping turtle.
Mm-hmm.
At that size, just given the size of the one that was in the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, that one was about half the size of the Beast of Busco. But it's like, for perspective for audio listeners, if you were like in a slop squat, just kind of on your haunches, crouched down,
yeah,
the one at the Shed Aquarium was taller than you. It was massive.
Yeah,
and it was only 16 years old and like around 250 pounds.
Like, what do you mean, like, never been found?
They haven't found this Beast of Busco. They have not actually found this turtle.
How do they know it's even a thing?
Well, they've seen it. They haven't captured it.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like, the giant bass at the local fishing spot. It's like, it's the
It's a storied
that has,
creature.
Persists.
Yeah, what you've done here has made me incredibly interested in alligator snapping turtles. Just sitting here reading all about them on my phone, like while you were talking, and like, wow, it's a cool animal. Like,
yeah, I mean,
they have a possible life expectancy up to 200 years on average, because things kill them or they die off. They seem to live to about 70, but normal lifespan, if they're not killed, would be around 120 years, which is like, we're in tortoise area there. Mm-hmm. And they're also the largest turtle in North America. And that makes me wonder, well, what turtle in the world is larger?
Sea turtle?
No. These are much larger than sea turtles.
It seems like sea turtles can get...
They can get pretty big, but I mean, these are... I mean, if we're talking... They found one in Kansas that was 403 pounds.
My parents were talking about a sea turtle at some zoo they went to, or aquarium, I think maybe in Chicago, and it was about the size of a... Like, it swam up in the glass, and they said, like, its underside was about as, like, big as a king-size bed.
Well, that may have been the alligator snapping turtle that we're talking about. That was in an aquarium at Chicago. It was in water because they're...
Right, but it just seems like it was a sea turtle. It wasn't an alligator.
How do you know?
I mean, I myself don't know, but...
It's a sea turtle, pretty easy to identify from alligator snapping turtle.
One's got flippers and one's got stumps.
Well, yeah, but did they say?
Well, I mean, it was a while back. I'd have to ask my parents again, maybe.
Plus, I mean...
Call your dad now.
If they remember.
You don't want to be on the business end of an alligator snapping turtle.
Oh,
because
no.
You will lose whatever it bites.
That's what I was going to say, is if we were to use Brian as bait, and we took the boat out there and drug him behind... If that thing is really a 500-pound alligator snapping turtle, its head would be so large that it would be able to easily bite a limb off of him. Like, bite his leg off at the hip.
That often.
I enjoy living.
Yeah, I mean, that's
if I'm giving up anything, it's the left arm.
So that he can keep it in his room.
Yeah,
we're just not going to go there.
All right, cool.
I'm going to mount it like Grendel.
Vet TV.
Yeah. So no, the first sighting was July 27th, 1948, when two men were in a boat and it suddenly surfaced alongside of their rowboat.
Got any fish, man?
From sources state that it tried to take their fishing poles.
Mine now, sucker.
Yeah. They described it as having a head the size of a child's and a back as broad as their boat. So this is probably, earlier in its lifespan.
Mm-hmm. Head as big as a child's. Seems like that's a very small head for how big that shell is. Because they said the shell's as big as their boat, but the head's as small as a child's.
No, it's a rowboat.
But it's still a boat.
Yeah.
Boats aren't small.
They said, we saw big waves rolling up, and up came the turtle. I've never seen one so big. I saw that head sticking up and the waves going away like a submarine. They were pretty terrified of this thing all of a sudden coming up out of the water at them.
I would be.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was just a normal alligator snapping turtle.
Yeah, I gotta wonder, could you shoot that through its shell? Or would the shell be so thick?
It would be larger than a zero-turn riding mower.
Yeah.
Like, it would not be as big as a car.
Yeah,
but it would be somewhere between riding lawnmower and car in size at 500 pounds.
Do you think you could fight a riding lawnmower?
Maybe a smart car.
I'm just saying, it's like if you had a handgun, like if you loaded up a handgun to kill snakes on the water or something, because copperheads.
Yeah, I mean, no, like if you got this thing on land, it would not be a threat to you, because I mean, a lot of turtle speed, like snapping turtle speed, it's about how small they are, and so they'll cover a short distance really fast. But when they get so much larger, the distance to move their head from one side to the other is further, and so their speed won't seem so
also
quick.
Like a lot of turtle hunting is about they stay still and wait for something to not notice them and come up to them.
Yeah, the alligator turtle has its tongue that looks like a worm. That's how it lures in prey.
That's the first time that I saw an alligator snapping turtle in my life. Was when I was probably 12 or so in my parents' backyard, right on the edge of the woods. I was just walking along, and then suddenly this thing just kind of like shuffled at me. And I looked, I was like, I've never seen a turtle like that in my life. It was all like spiky and crazy looking.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, evil. That is so cool. I never saw it again.
I'm gonna touch it.
It was just up on the edge of their yard one day. And then there was the one that we found at the place we used to work.
Oh yeah,
That was an alligator. That wasn't an alligator
Well,
turtle.
yeah, I wasn't naming it, but
no. Yeah.
That wasn't an alligator turtle.
Was it not?
Out in the middle of the lot? No, it was just a big old snapper.
Well, I couldn't remember.
It was
I had
covered
a
in
picture of it
grease.
at one point. Yeah,
Every once in a while down my road, you'll come across a turtle trying to cross the road,
yeah.
and I've seen them like as big as like
Tree stumps.
maybe a little bigger than a basketball going across the road.
I mean, I know that, like, and it's a weird thing to think about because you don't often think about turtles around you.
Yeah.
But there are turtles everywhere around here. Like in Indiana, there are so many different species of turtles, and you just don't usually see them out in the wild. But
There's
like,
Fox.
there's
the
so
pond
many.
by in my backyard, like there's painted turtles, there's the big like flat shell type turtles that go in the ponds and stuff. They're out there all the time just sitting on the rocks, and I've seen a lot of alligator snapping turtles in this area and
so
regular
many,
snapping turtles.
There's so many streams that bust off of White River and everything
Oh yeah.
that like there's all kinds of shit all over the place.
Well, I mean, this whole state's just absolutely filled with like tributaries of rivers, you know, because we have the Ohio River and all these different other little mini rivers around and off it all through the state, like Sugar Creek, White River.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just creeks everywhere.
like it's not hard to find water around here
No.
Unless it's July.
unless it's drought season.
Yeah. Then White River is White Stream.
If it wasn't for winters, Indiana would be the ultimate state to survive the apocalypse in.
Yeah.
Because it's not really harsh, or really, it's not really difficult terrain. Like if you need to go somewhere, it's pretty flat, but there's tons of natural resources and water and crops everywhere.
Wildlife.
Most of the wildlife is pretty harmless but edible. We don't have like major predators.
I'm just thinking, you know, you may revise that statement when we do finally talk about our camping trip.
When we finally see a squirrel. That's the funny thing though. There's squirrels all around here, but you go deep out in the woods, not a squirrel in sight.
Cougars, though.
I think the problem is that
Coyotes.
I think that generally squirrels tend to be near people for the easy food access rather than like go actually forage.
Actually
Let's
hunting.
save this for the
Yeah,
camping.
we'll save it for later. We got a whole episode coming about next week, actually.
Well, it depends.
Well, possibly next week, maybe the week after, about the camping trip that we went on.
Yep. But so going back to the eyewitness stuff, after hearing stories of the turtle, family members claimed to have seen it himself as in early autumn 1948. Years afterwards, in 1971, Harris described his sighting to a folklorist. According to Harris, his attention was first drawn to the creature by a church minister with whom he was patching a roof. The minister pointed out something moving across the lake. And I looked down there, and this is a quote.
It's the devil creature.
And I looked down there, and I seen this big head. It was just like a big head, and I said, oh.
What a big head.
It just must be something. I don't know what it is.
I seen it, and it was just like a big head.
Yeah, like, wow.
To which
And I thought, wow,
That's a big head.
that is such a, like, guaranteed that's a real account because,
Yeah,
like, that is so small town Indiana. You ask somebody, oh, you saw this thing? Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was something. Yep.
yeah, that sounds like any
So,
kind
like,
of quote.
short with their words.
That sounds like any kind of quote you get out of any local news broadcast around the area. Like,
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's all
You gonna elaborate? No, I saw it.
yeah, it's all right. It's pretty cool. It's big.
Yeah.
That's about it. You know, you're not gonna get like the what's his name? Andrew Bowser's character. He's the weird Arby's guy. He's the weird Satanist guy. He does all these things like where like he'll be like on a local news thing, like he photoshops himself into these, and he'll be like like there's one where a car hits an Arby's. And he was like, and I saw as the old woman, her eyes filled with homicidal rage, flew through her car, straight through the drive-through window. And, I don't know. He just goes on these really ridiculously long descriptions.
Yeah, not
Like
around
you
here.
don't get those in real life.
Well,
Oh,
There's
what
not
is his
many people
name? He has
actually like
Onyx
that.
the Fortuitous. He has a movie coming out soon.
Yeah, I've
movie.
been seeing him on TikTok.
He
lately.
just raised like $500,000 on Kickstarter for that movie.
Mhm.
Like it's going to be awesome. His last movie was amazing.
So,
I love it. I love this guy.
continuing on, the pair ignored it for a time being, but the next day, Harris and the minister noticed the shape again. Swimming in the opposite direction, it took a journey of half a mile for them to reach the lake, by which time the shape had disappeared. So the two men went out into the water in a boat.
They got some good eyesight.
Yeah, they saw it from half a mile away. Well, if they were on a roof.
Yeah, they're up
Well, I
there
get
roofing.
being on a roof,
And
but
it's
you're
that
still
big.
half a mile looking at a lake that probably has reflections and waves.
Well,
I wouldn't be able to pick that shit out on a lake.
It's like it looked like a big head. I mean, right? I mean, he just saw something moving in the water from a distance.
I don't think I could be able to be like, that looks like a head from 900 yards away.
Half a mile is really like not that far to look.
It's not, but if
It's
you're looking at
really
something the
not,
size of a
especially if you're
basketball,
higher up and looking down. Well, that head would have probably been larger than a basketball if it's a 500-pound turtle.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. To me, I feel like a 500-pound turtle's not. I mean, that's big. I'm not saying. It's
I showed
big,
you a
but
picture of a 250-pound turtle,
that turtle,
and it was massive.
That turtle in Chicago was
So we could
250.
assume that this one would be about twice the size of the one I showed you a
like,
picture of.
I can't believe that I weigh as much as that turtle you just showed me.
We have heavier bones.
I guess so.
Like, really, though. Like, compared to a turtle, human bones,
I don't have
our skeleton weighs way more.
turtles are hollow too.
Like, I don't have a shell.
Their guts, they have like the ribs.
I thought you meant their bones. I was like,
No, their bones aren't hollow.
The body of a turtle.
The body of a turtle is hollow. That's why they can
They're
be
pretty-
huge but not weigh that much.
Yeah, they're pretty frail. It's a lot of their weight's just their shell.
Oh, okay.
And the shell's meant for stopping like claws and stuff to redirect.
So technically, it's a turtle twice the size of that one you showed me, which was
Huge.
humongous.
So that
Yeah.
a turtle twice that size would be as big as your van.
No.
Maybe
Like
it's
a
a car.
Yeah, maybe about a car
maybe
size.
Jason's car.
I mean, you think about what would a car weigh without all the steel, like without all the engine, the transmission.
So
I mean,
just the
just a
unibody?
chassis
I'm gonna
doesn't
say
weigh that much.
Just a frame. I would
Yeah.
assume like
The
600
unibody.
pounds.
Yeah, it wouldn't weigh that much.
Yeah.
So think about that. I mean, the turtle very well could be as big as a car.
Yeah, maybe like a two-door or something like that.
And it's entirely in the realm of possibility. Like, it could be actually out there and be that big. Because
Well, I mean, it depends on the food supply. I mean, if they're enough
as long as
to
it's
feed-
old enough and been eating for long enough. I mean, like I said, they found one in Kansas that was 403 pounds. I mean,
It's
why
just-
not a
it's just
500
eating
pounder?
wheat and corn because that's all it's got.
Maybe it's 200 years old.
I mean, in Indiana, it's big
It might be
corn-fed
the oldest
motherfucker.
living turtle, the oldest living alligator snapping turtle.
Yeah.
It ate all the other alligator snapping turtles.
So going into another quote here. So we got in the boat and we seen something in the water.
I love that. That's
We
how you know
seen.
it's Indiana. We seen it.
We seen it.
Or,
I
you
hate
know,
that
anywhere.
So much. It makes me so mad.
I seen
previous
that
quotes,
son
I was
of a
like, I should
bitch.
correct this grammar. but
No,
I'm like,
you got to
know
just
what?
read it
leave
the way
yeah.
it is. It,
Yes,
it
there-
makes it feel genuine.
It's a quote.
There's a very clear line in the United States where seen is a common word.
No,
and
it's a common word everywhere. It's part of the English language. It's used wrong here.
Yeah.
Everyone
see.
uses it incorrectly.
Everybody uses it incorrectly. You go from the western border of Indiana and draw a straight line down through the south. Then you go to the top of Indiana and draw a straight line east. And you just take that whole square that
Or
makes.
it's the lazy refusal to say the word have. I have seen. Or even shorten it. I've seen.
That's
I
still-
have seen that movie. That is a proper way to use seen. Or you could say without the have, I saw
seen.
that movie.
I seen that. Movie.
Yeah, I think it's
people
probably
around
I
here-
grown up here.
People
so-
around here, they always say, I seen it. Yeah, I seen that.
I seen
It
it.
makes me so mad. It took years of effort, but I broke one of my friends out of the habit of saying that.
Who was it?
Austin.
Austin used to say
He
I
thanks
seen.
me for it to this day. He's like, yeah, thank you for saving me from that way of talking.
Well, he lives in
My
Greenwood
ex-
now.
because I
on
used to, like, for years, like, because we'd hang out all the time.
I seen.
Whenever
have
he
seen.
would say, I seen, I'd be like, you saw? Eventually I conditioned him to quit doing it.
Continuing this quote. And
No.
he was looking down on the side of the boat, and I was looking on the side of the boat, and he says, "Here it is over here." And I said, "No, here it is over here." Well, he says, "It can't be." And I says,
Damn, Jim Bob, I see its tail over here. I think that's the head.
"Yep. Well, it's right. Well, it is."
Oh, please
Right
tell me
there
it comes
is.
up under them and lifts their boat out of the water.
There's its tail, he says. There's its head right over there. We had the boat right over it then, and that turtle was that size then. Yep.
You want me to take a shot at reading that?
Turtle was that size then. Yup.
No, yep was me like, oh my god,
I
my
thought maybe
brain
that
is
was
melting
in
trying
the
to read
quote.
this. No,
I thought you were having an aneurysm.
no. You know, you look down on this side of the boat and see it here, and on this side of the boat, it's pretty good sized turtle.
Was that you translating?
No, that's the quote.
That's me trying to correct myself because it's so horrible.
I love it. That's so authentic.
The big
So
ass turtle.
Indiana.
Oh, here we go.
It's funny because we're not a southern state by any measure. We are not a southern
We
state.
are
No, but
two
like-
states
But
above the
there are
Mason-Dixon
so many
line.
people. Anytime you get into a rural area in Indiana, everybody talks like they're from the South, but
Well, but like
they're not.
a lot of people still say like we have Hoosier accents. Like
we do.
Hoosier accent is a thing.
Well, see, no, that's a problem.
Is that like
it's
exclusive to Indiana?
It's exclusive to rural areas because generally Indiana has a very, very neutral way of speaking. We don't have the Midwest accent like
We
you
don't have
get
an
in
Eastern
Wisconsin
accent.
where they say Wisconsin,
Yeah.
or Chicago where they'd say Chicago. You know, we don't have that. Or like, although in Fort Wayne, people say Dow instead of doll. I mean, that's a northern Indiana thing, but generally central Indiana, we speak a very neutral version of English where there isn't really any specific accent on it.
It's like
I don't know.
when you have an accent, do you
There's like a
notice?
central, yes, there's like a central line straight through the country where people don't really have an accent. And central Indiana is a part of that. But anyone out in a rural area, for some reason, they get this idea that they need to speak with a southern accent because it ups their cowboy cred, you know?
I don't know. Because like,
Lack of education.
No, I don't think it's even a lack of education. I think it's just a cultural thing.
Because there's
That they're
plenty-
really into country music.
there's plenty of
They're a
people-
farmer. And so they think, well, I'm supposed to talk like this, you know?
Well, there was plenty of people that I went to school with in Danville where,
Well, that's because you're a bunch of
I
bumpkins.
think in this day and age, having an accent in America is a choice.
well, maybe. But I'm saying like
Absolutely a
because
choice.
they were homeschooled their whole life so they could be on the farm.
doesn't
Then they
matter.
come to. I just feel like their grammar was all fucked up.
You have to know
Their-
when you have an accent. You have to know because you can recognize that other people around you speak differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like my brother, and me, huge podcast. Those three brothers are from West Virginia. And in West Virginia, people talk like this, a little bit like Forrest Gump. They talk completely normal, just like us, because they understand, like, oh, people don't talk that way. A lot of people they grew up with talk that way, but
What is the Creole accent excuse then?
Creole?
Oh, I gotta go.
It's a combination of a few different things.
It's French and
Yeah. It's French crossed with a little bit of Caribbean, some parts of Africa. But I think you're more specifically thinking of the Cajun accent, which is like the swamp people talk. And
What's
also,
their
I feel like that
excuse?
is very played up for television.
talking about like
it is not.
down
I would say that
See, I've
some of
never
the
left
guys
the state,
on like
so-
swamp people,
down by the
they
bayou.
actually speak very clearly compared to some of the people in those areas. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's almost like another language in some parts. And some of the words they use aren't words that we use
What was-
because they do have some Creole language in there mixed into the Cajun accents.
What's that place you were
But-
showing us in Washington where they have a completely different language than the rest of the United States?
Yeah, there's a very small town in Washington where they still basically speak Old English. It's weird.
The King's English.
Well, this talk of language and
It's not over. I have one more thing to say.
God damn! I want to talk about the turtle.
One last thing. You get me started on accents, I get going because I cannot stand
John
it.
hates accents.
I don't hate accents. I hate
People using
incorrect
them.
accents. I hate when people have an accent that is not for the area and they're from an area where they should not have the accent.
It's not a native
It's mostly
accent.
just having grown up with a lot of people in Indiana, central Indiana, speaking with southern accents, and there's no reason for it. It's a choice. But the biggest thing is I looked into this recently and I just find this absolutely hilarious. So the difference between British accents and American accents. We both speak English. We come from there, like the US, came mostly from Britain originally. And yet we sound very different. Well, the way that they speak, the way that we speak is how the British spoke during the time of the Revolutionary War. Normal English. you know?
So didn't they used to sound like Southerners?
Yeah, it was sort of like a Southern accent in America, like the way that the British spoke back then, which most likely would have evolved to be the way we speak now. But in like the 1800s, it became popular to pronounce their R's the way they do now. And it was just like a fashionable thing. It was where you got like the posh accent. And so they just decided, like, as a society, like, we're going to talk like this now. It's like, why? They just chose it.
I'm going to say everything I heard from, like, speech history is that, like, our thick Southern accent used to be their posh accent.
No, our thick Southern accent sounds a lot like Old English, like
Does it?
real Old English.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have a really thick Southern accent.
All right, Jason, we'll get back to the stupid turtle.
Turtle time.
God damn it.
Jason's just sitting here angry. I like turtles.
I love
I just-
turtles.
We just canned one of my episodes because we couldn't stay on topic.
No, but we're not off topic in a nasty way. We're having
Jason, are we
interesting
not
conversation.
turtly enough for the turtle club here?
Yeah, really. Come on, Jason.
I knew you were going for it.
But I'll tell you what, these two look like turtles. You got a face like a turtle. He's got a body like a turtle.
What?
Morph them together, you get a turtle.
I'm not turtly enough.
Brian,
for the...
you do kind of look like a ninja turtle.
I'm so fucking mad at Brian right now.
I heard him start. I
I'm
heard
stealing your line.
Yeah.
That movie's terrible,
It's
though.
so terrible, but come on,
But man, Dana Carvey's hilarious.
Yeah.
I miss him.
A lot of the movies that came out of the SNL cast just were not great.
Yeah, I mean, I think even to this day, there's only one SNL cast movie that really holds up as that was awesome.
Johnny Boy.
Hot Rod. Hot Rod was amazing.
That's a good
Well, I mean, you
movie.
got all the Adam Sandler movies.
Are those really any good?
I mean, if you grew
We
up
all
at
have
that
the
time,
nostalgia,
yeah.
you know, but if you go back
Billy
and watch Adam
Madison,
Sandler movies,
yeah.
none of them are all that
Who's
good.
the guy that, like,
But Hot Rod was
Father of the
great.
Bride? What's that guy's name? Martin something?
Bernie Mac?
No, what's his name?
No, I'm
White-haired,
thinking of...
white-haired older guy?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Oh, yeah, Steve Martin.
Like, all his movies are good, for the most part.
I like Little Shop of Horrors, but that's about it.
Is Steve Martin in Little Shop?
Yes, he's the dentist.
Dennis.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Like, oh, yep, you're right.
Yeah.
He's not the main focal point of that movie.
No,
was-
not at all. But that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Turtle.
Okay, so Turtle.
Turtles. Turtle.
Just gonna cut his mic here. Harris estimated that Turtle was was some 6 foot long and 4 foot wide.
Why did you have to slow down to say that?
The turtle was some.
Was some 6 foot long, 4 foot wide?
It's not proper, is it?
I mean,
It's not
it's
proper.
not the way people speak, but it's not improper.
Yeah. About the size of a dining room table. So
Yeah.
what we're sitting at, with the head the size of a baby's.
Well, more likely with the table with the leaf in it, because I mean, well, maybe that is about 6 feet wide. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say 6 foot.
My chest popped.
Why?
Because I am always popping, like everywhere, my shoulders.
Why
and
are
my
your pits so
sternum.
sweaty?
Because they always are. I took a bunch of yohimbine, and
You are sweating a storm.
it makes your blood pressure go through the roof, and your nose starts running.
Your forehead's red.
Oh, it's sunburned from
Okay.
yesterday.
Do we even care about
Yes, we
this
care about the
at this point?
turtle.
We care
Jesus.
about the turtle. Continue.
I'm sorry, I had to make a dig at your ability to not read bad English,
Okay, well, anyway, so
especially when you grew up in Illinois.
He didn't.
I didn't.
Where you? Okay, whatever.
I mean, I lived there through the 3rd grade and then moved here in 4th grade.
Those are some formative years where you can learn
Suckled
to
at
say some
the teat
6.
of the beef house.
Hey, the beef house is good.
It is. It's awesome.
It's like people will actually come to Indiana.
Oh,
for
absolutely. The beef house is amazing. Little ad for the beef house here. Covington, Indiana. There's a restaurant just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, really.
The beef house. Well, it's the intersection of 74 and 63.
Yeah, it is. And it's fantastic.
That's what it's called.
Great rolls.
It's just called the Covington Beef House, isn't it?
It's just called the beef house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just the beef house.
Wait, you said it's down 74?
It is a destination.
I've never been there, but I've always heard of it.
It's really good.
Well, if it's on 74 and we're going down there to see
it's
it.
west.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's literally like you hit the beef house.
It's like on
and
the
then
Illinois
a couple
border.
more miles is the Illinois border.
Oh.
It's the last good thing. Because after you get into Illinois, it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Well, that's only 60 miles. That's probably about
There's
57
nothing good in
miles.
Illinois.
The only good thing in Illinois is the Peoria TTs
What?
motorcycle race.
Oh.
Oh.
No, so I lived when I lived out there. I lived near the Newport Chemical Depot, and when we, normal high schools, you have fire drills, tornado drills, whatever. We had VX drills
Yeah, my dad went in there once.
in case there was a leak at the plant.
Yeah, you die.
There
was no drill. It was
Almost everyone in the state would die if it had all been released.
It would reach maybe Indianapolis at the most.
Yeah, it wouldn't get
There would have been
everybody.
a lot of people.
But
Yeah,
no.
my dad did some work in there on their phone system, and he was telling me that in there they have these little pouches that they carry around with red and blue pills, and if you listen to the horns, there's if there's 3 loud quick bursts, take the red pill. If there's 2 short or 2 long bursts, take the blue pill. And he asked me, he's like, what are those for? He's like, well, that means there's a leak and you need to take the correct pill. Oh, is that going to say? He's like, no, she's going to make sure it doesn't hurt as much.
Joke's on them. Both pills are cyanide.
But no,
No matter which sound you hear, take one of the
what we
pills.
would do at the high school is everyone would pour in the school buses, and they'd pass out duct tape, and we had to duct tape the window shut while we were driving down north on 63, and we would. The actual plan was just to keep driving,
run.
but in practice we just stopped when we got to the beef house.
And they couldn't have the AC on either.
No.
So they've duct taped all the windows shut with the AC off and like 80 kids in the bus.
And John starts shitting his pants
Free
immediately.
sauna.
Yeah,
John would be
It had to
like,
be like 120 degrees in that bus.
sorry, I get gassy when I'm nervous.
no, it was never a pleasant drill, but at least we because they had to stop at the beef house and reset, and we just kind of dick around there, and then
Would you get some food
Come
while
back.
you were there at least?
we're high schoolers. So most of us didn't even have jobs.
Yeah, you don't eat in high school.
No, it's not that you don't eat in high school. You don't have money for the
Yeah, beef houses, yeah.
Oh, they didn't just buy you guys lunch?
No.
Oh, what about
The
you?
only time the school bought us food at the beef house was for senior dinner.
Oh, man.
You got a senior dinner?
Our school took us to beef and boards.
Did they?
Well, not you.
I don't remember having a senior meal.
I don't have
And no, it wasn't a senior meal. It was just a field trip.
I didn't go. I stayed at the high school.
You didn't get to go. You weren't in theater arts class.
Yeah. Is that how it was?
It was a
What
theater
the field
arts
trip we
class
had?
field trip.
That was middle school when I didn't go on that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Turtle.
Yeah. So giant turtle, we think it's probably likely that it exists.
100% think it's real. I have no doubts in my mind that it's real.
There's just no reason for it not
It
to
may not
exist.
still be there.
Yeah,
but
it's probably dead
at
by
the
now.
time. I have no reason not to believe that they saw a 500-pound alligator snapping turtle.
Yeah, because that's really the problem with cryptids, right? Is
We assume that they're still alive.
yeah,
And they were sighted forever ago.
Yeah, it's like maybe there was a Bigfoot at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We failed to find it for so long that it's just we're never going to find it.
Yeah.
Or the Loch Ness monster, maybe it was there, and it's just rotting at the bottom of the loch.
I'll tell you what, though, on Bigfoot, I think, maybe a species of something that's undiscovered, and that they are still around, because, I saw a video recently out of Florida that it was on, what's the website? It's the people that actually verify Bigfoot sightings and go and investigate them.
Mm-hmm.
They had this one up on their site. It was a guy in Florida who took this video, and it was so good. And it felt so real. And, they vetted it. They're like, this seems legit, He was walking in kind of a, swampy forest area. And you just see this thing, peeling at a tree. You see it from behind. And he's just filming it. And he's like, what is that? And then it stood up. And he realized how big it was. And he goes, whoa! And just ran away. I was like, that seems legit. That doesn't seem like a hoax.
But the problem is nowadays everyone has a high definition camera in their pocket.
And this was good video too.
So you would think that there'd be more sightings, more just more more
I don't
catching
know.
these things.
If I'm in a moment, I'm generally not one to take pictures of anything
unless there's police
especially
action.
if I'm in a moment like that where I'm seeing something I've never seen before. The last thing on my mind is going to be, let me get my phone out and take a picture. You're going to be locked in like fight or flight. You're not going to think about getting your phone out.
Google Glass so we can just snap a picture with our face, wink at the monster, and run away.
Desperate for it to make a resurgence so you can wear yours again.
I don't even know where I put it. I may not even still have it. But no, I mean, big turtle sounds cool.
I guarantee Google Glass will make a comeback, but it'll be Amazon. They're already making glasses with Alexa built in.
Yeah, Amazon has the Alexa one, and Razer just came out with bone conduction glasses.
Yeah,
bone conduction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you listen to things through bone conduction.
Oh, Jesus! You have to like surgically
Joe Biden's
implant
earpiece. No, it just sits on there. Like Joe Biden's earpiece is a.
No, is it?
Yeah, that's why you can't really see it.
I'm just thinking of the ones
where they feed them lines.
Where they can cut behind your ear and put the little one in there. And then you can always have a transceiver.
Yeah, a lot of hearing aids are also bone conduction.
Yeah. Like Google Glass had bone conduction. I didn't like it, but I mean, I still plug the earphone in all the time. But
yeah, I think it's just I don't like the thought that all sound is to you is just vibration that gets translated into your brain.
Yeah,
because when I think about it, it's like that is weird.
All you see is light.
I know, but it's just one of those natural bodily functions where it's like that's weird to think about.
Brian, what's your sixth sense? I was watching this thing the other day, and there's this guy who's like a clairvoyant or something.
Do we want to turn this into Brian's episode, the clairvoyance thing?
Oh, that would be we could do. Yeah,
I don't know anything about clairvoyance.
You don't have to. We're just gonna, feed you this one.
I don't know that we could even get a whole episode out of that, though.
Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, so
better than not one.
Yeah, you think it could have happened? You think it could have happened?
Yeah, big turtles.
Oh yeah,
I don't even think it could have happened. I think it did. I think like 100%. They saw this turtle; it was real.
There's no reason for it not to be. I mean,
think about
there's nothing physically impossible there.
Of that alligator walking across that Florida golf course and how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's like, how old do you think that thing was when it was just lumbering through the green? Just like, hey, I'm a big alligator. What are you gonna do?
And just given that they had one at the aquarium that was 16 years old and was already 250 pounds, I mean, how big would one be if it lived to 200?
Right.
I mean, right. Is there like how there's a cap on human growth? Like, do you think is there not a cap on?
I don't know that there is. We set new records in size all the time.
Yeah, and aquatic creatures get to have
people have been getting larger generation to generation.
Really?
So I don't know that there is a cap on human size.
Because it comes down to the environment that they're being raised in.
And genetics, of course, with humans. But
yeah. But I mean, same with the turtle.
Well,
genetics,
with the turtle, but
I mean, they generally grow to fit the available space to them.
Yeah. Because, for example, with humans, there are theories that, look at gigantism. People like Robert Wadlow, he was 8'11", which is absolutely insanely tall.
Mm-hmm.
No one has ever been taller than him. But it's all about like relativity, like how tall people are at the time. There could come a time in the future that 8'11" is just a pretty tall guy.
Right, that's like the new 7 foot.
There's a theory that Abraham Lincoln actually had gigantism. Abraham Lincoln was 6'4" in a time where the average person was like 5'4".
Mm.
Yeah,
and so
you go back.
He was actually freakishally tall.
But now he's like a tall guy.
Yeah, he's just.
There's nothing short about 6'4".
And now, like the average man is like 5'11" to 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we see as a tall person is at like 7 feet tall. And so it just keeps going and going. People keep getting bigger. So, who knows? Maybe there's just one really good genetic line of turtles and there's some big ones up in northern Indiana.
Yeah.
Put it on the list.
We're just collecting places to go at this point.
We're going to camp at that lake. We're going to be...
All right. Well, Brian?
They ever tried it's 5'9", John?
No, that's outdated, dude. It's 5'10" and a half. You're looking at the average adult height overall worldwide, or are you looking at
For
the
the
average
US.
height of a U.S. male?
For U.S. males, it's 5'9".
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm tall.
I'm
You're
kinda
tall too. Yeah, you're
I'm
like what?
5'10".
Yeah, I'm 5'11". That makes me tall.
Yeah, you are tall. Yeah.
That's the problem, is that I have all tall friends, so I always feel short because like I'm an average height too tall guy,
and I'm shorter than you.
5'11",
So how?
you're the only friend I have that's shorter than me, and you're only like an inch or two shorter.
Yeah.
Where like most of my friends are 6'1" minimum, so like I always feel like I'm short, but then I'll realize like, oh wait a minute, I'm not.
No.
No, it's just everybody else around me is big.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get some skinny, like Spencer Money friends.
I'm waiting for like.
So you look way broader. When
Yeah,
you're
that's another problem, is that like
I'm waiting. So like, at some point, I go do something stupid on the Harley or something. I just hope I break both of my femurs. I'm gonna be like, can you give me like 2 inches of bone in my femurs?
Can you just throw in some rods?
Yeah, just get some shit going on in here. Like I want like at least 2 inches. I'll be happy.
it's one of the things that I think is funny when you watch movies and like somebody will look huge, like massively tall and muscular, and you'll be like, man, how big is that guy? But then you remember like, oh, almost everyone in Hollywood's like 5'5". You know what I mean? So like you all have someone who's 6'1" playing a giant.
Yeah, wasn't there someone in the MCU that was like really insecure about their height?
Wasn't it Spider-Boy?
I thought it was Robert Downey Jr.
It probably was Robert Downey Jr. because the
I don't think he's very
MCU,
tall.
because they were casting superheroes, most of the guys who are, it could have been Paul Rudd also. Paul
He
Rudd's
seems like he doesn't care.
Paul Rudd's like 5'9", but like Chris Hemsworth, what's his name? Chris
Jeremy
Pratt,
Clarkson.
The Chris's.
yeah, the Chris's and
What's Hawkeye's
Captain America.
Yeah, that's Chris Evans.
Okay, all the Chris's
Those are the Chris's.
are like 6'3".
Mhm.
So like they're huge for Hollywood, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Jeremy Rayner. That's his name.
Drax looks huge.
Batista.
Drax is like 5'11".
Batista.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually billed at like 6'3" in WWE, but he's actually like 6 foot.
Oh,
They always up your size, but because he's so jacked and he's like 6 feet tall, he's still bigger than everyone in
Right.
Hollywood, so he looks like a giant.
Right.
Batista.
that and him being like an alien character, they could
Yeah.
easily just
I
make
always
him
think about
really
that, like
tall.
when I'm watching a show, I'm like, I bet it's like being in a Toyland. Like if you were to like drop any one of us into like a major movie, we'd look like freakish giants because we're all just like big thick dudes.
Imagine being in like Harry Potter where everyone's 5 feet tall.
There is no muscular person in Harry Potter until you get to that one.
Ron got kind of buff.
Not really.
A little bit.
I'm going to say the buffest guys in that were the like
Neville.
Russian wizards
Neville Longbottom.
that showed up.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah,
were-
the Spetsnaz wizards that came on the boat.
What?
They were Bulgarian.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I still, regardless, they were.
They were like,
Yeah, they were thick boys.
Yeah.
It's like, what's your whole thing? It's like, we are the killing vampires warrior guys.
They were a great Quidditch team. They played in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
What was the Quidditch dude's name? The main character for Crom. Yeah, Victor Crom.
Yep.
I didn't know Victor.
Yeah,
I just
that's
Victor
it.
Crom.
Yep. I knew like if I heard it, I'd know. Hey, I'm going to Harry Potter World here real soon. Real soon, boys.
I've been there twice.
So you're
Fuck you.
You're a big nerd, then, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I like
You're
Harry
gonna spend
Potter.
$80 on a wand?
There's no shame
Maybe.
in liking Harry Potter.
I might, Brian.
We're all gonna take the house quiz and see where we are.
Somebody was talking recently about like, what if somebody did a reverse J.K. Rowling just to troll everybody? And like, so J.K. Rowling writes Harry Potter, and there's just all these normal characters, and then like later she's like, oh, this one was gay, this one was trans, you know, like just starts adding it in later. But somebody, they write like a really like progressive and woke sounding like book, like all the
There's-
characters
this
just seem
one's a
so
racist,
fitting.
this one's a
and they go
homophobe.
back later and they're like, well, actually that character was a white supremacist, and that character was like just
He hated
huge troll.
hated everybody. Huge racist.
That character was a major fat shamer.
That'd be like the guy who wrote, or the woman.
Who knows what'll get people going?
I mean, that would have to be on that scale. It'd be like the Hunger Games. Whoever wrote that. I don't know if it was a
Well,
good
the
or
Hunger
not.
Games is already weird enough on its own.
I know, but they could come out and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, Katniss, huge racist.
Actually,
She was glad that little girl died.
Actually, the main character was female. I just misgendered them the entire time I was writing the book.
The main character was female.
Thanks.
Oh, you're talking about your little thing. I thought you were talking about Hunger Games.
Where did Hunger Games come in?
He brought up Hunger Games.
God, you
Oh.
are deaf.
I was talking
Which is
about
already screwed up enough because it's like, oh, let's like throw everybody's children in a death game. And all these people that overthrow the government because they're tired of their children being in a death game.
Want to
all
start the death games.
No, they do another death game with the children of District 1.
No, they
Yeah,
didn't, because that when they found out she wanted to do that, she said no and
I
stopped
thought it happened in the book. It just didn't happen in the movies.
No, it didn't.
Did you read the Hunger Games?
Yeah, I did.
You
My
called us nerds
The Hunger
for
Games is
wanting to
3
go to
books.
Harry Potter World. It's not 3 books.
It is 3 books.
It's not 3 books.
It's 3 books.
Nope.
Yes.
There
There's
are
a
more.
fourth one.
No, there's
Yep.
not.
Yes, there is.
When did the
There's
fourth
4
one come?
movies based
before
on
the
3
pandemic.
books.
The third
but there
movie,
is a fourth book.
the fourth and third movie are the third book cut in half.
Listen to what I just said.
No.
I said there are 4 movies based on 3 books, but there is a 4th book.
When did the fourth book come out?
Like last year or the year
Yeah.
before.
Oh, right before the pandemic.
No, I read this when my sister was still in high school.
But still, the point stands. You
8
called
years ago.
Jesse and I nerds for liking Harry Potter, and then you bust out that you read the made for young ladies teen fiction Hunger Games.
Dude, it was a book about kids killing
you
each
called
other.
us nerds.
It was a book about kids killing each other. Why
So
would
why
I
didn't you
not?
just read the novelization of Battle Royale?
Because I have the movie.
Lord of the Flies.
Why would I read the novelization when I could watch the thing actually happening?
Yeah.
That kid in the beginning of that movie who's just like, he's smart mouthing off. He's like, fuck you. Hits the button and it starts beeping. Gets his brains, not his brain, but his neck blown out. That's awesome. There's Lyle Rath did a review of this of Hunger Games and it's hilarious as hell.
Yeah.
I should show it to you
Hmm.
while we do a break at some point. It's funny. It's like 9 minutes long. You're not gonna watch it. You don't.
No.
You guys don't care.
No, I
Probably
don't
not.
care.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
going to take my nerd ass to Holly. Or damn it,
Universal
Harry Potter
Studios, huh?
You
don't
need
want-
to get a shirt that says that.
What?
Took my nerd ass.
Taking my nerd ass to Harry Potter world.
So Slytherin.
Gryffindor,
Yeah.
basic.
I don't know. Probably Gryffindor.
Well, you don't.
No,
you
we
never
took the.
Oh, you guys took
they
it.
have an
Okay.
actual like thing.
I haven't taken
where you
it.
have to answer all these questions and
Maybe I'll
things.
take it when I'm at Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to the
What's the
Sorting
name
Hat.
of that website?
Pottermore.
Pottermore. On Pottermore, you can find out your thing.
I'll have to figure
We
that
got
out.
to do that during break. Jesse and me'll take it.
What was your
Patronus.
Patronus?
A little Scotty dog.
That's right. He's a Slytherin and got a Scotty dog as a Patronus. I'm a Gryffindor and got a weasel.
Nice. I also have like a 17-inch wand, according to the site too.
What?
Yeah.
You can,
Overcompensating.
can you have a chode wand? Like a really thick stick that you just.
Well, we got so far from the turtle.
If the spells fail, you can throw it.
I'm gonna say you're pretty much holding a brick.
Hogwarts special ed class.
It's just Brian with a helmet. What a chode wand.
Come in on the short train.
I wonder what they did do for the special ed wizards.
They
That's what I
killed
was
them.
thinking, like, why didn't they show us that?
They killed them.
Not a fully fleshed out world.
too
And-
dangerous.
I'm sure if we ask J.K. Rowling, she'll go back and say something like Hagrid had cerebral palsy.
I think Hagrid wouldn't have cerebral palsy.
Sure, why
He's
not?
not all.
What are you trying to say about people with cerebral palsy?
They're all jacked up muscle wise. Hagrid can move.
Not all of them.
Most of them. That's like the main symptom.
You've seen
of
Josh Blue?
No.
Oh. He's a stand-up comedian with cerebral palsy.
Is that Chris Titus's friend?
Who?
Christopher Titus.
Who?
You don't know who Christopher Titus is?
No.
God, I hate you.
Anyway, I mean, she has gone back and explained like where and how they defecate. So I'm sure if
They just shit down their leg and then
Check it
they
around.
magic it away.
Who defecates?
The wizards.
the wizards.
They
They'll
just poop in their robes and it just magics away.
Yep.
Why didn't she just say they use the bathrooms that are clearly at Hogwarts?
Because it's not.
For some reason, she decided to explain it as they just like magic it away.
Yeah, they just shit their pants and then magic it away.
I don't know why she does anything she does, but
Yeah, but everybody hates her because she's a.
I don't like that because it goes somewhere.
There's fucking bathrooms
When they
at
magic,
Hogwarts.
when they magic those turds away, they go somewhere.
Detroit.
The land of wizard turds.
Detroit and San Francisco.
That's what happened to Flint. All Harry Potter's turds were in the water.
Well, with Fantastic Beasts, she added 4 wizarding schools in America.
Oh no. Where are they?
I don't know or care.
The American Wizarding School. What's their most popular spell? Avada Glock.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I don't remember who made the video, but they were like, they were showing like different schools in America, and they're like, this is the Wizarding School in America, and it's like, I don't know how they level like public, like PS 134. All the windows are broken, and there's just constantly spells, and there's a meth lab on like the 2nd floor.
I wonder how that works though, because the wands listen for your accent, which we learned from Seamus Finnegan.
What?
Trying to do spells, and because his accent was so thickly Scottish, it would misunderstand him and do the wrong spell.
What is it? An Alexa?
In America, we're supposed to learn all these British spells, but how do we know they'll go off right?
No, because you got
Unless we
fucking
fake an
Hermione.
accent.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Leviosa.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen the cartoon of that Leviosa cartoon?
Stop it, Ron. Leviosa.
Wasn't that Meat Canyon?
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah.
Accio bomb. No, stop it, Ron.
So, is there any salvaging this? Or,
I think this episode's over.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
You probably cut a bunch of this off the end.
No, dude.
Brian?
We'll just leave it. I don't know how long
We
it
can
is.
do so much with this.
No,
Brian?
it's
We
bad.
can imply that Harry Potter people are crazy.
We're not, though.
Anyway,
I am.
go ahead, Brian.
Have fun, everybody.
There we go.